All right, guys, today we're talking about a movie I honestly didn't expect to hit me this hard. Frankenstein 2025, the new Netflix version directed by Guillermo del Toro. And let me tell you, this is not the Frankenstein you're imagining from old cartoons or the Halloween monster with bolts in his neck. No, this film is something else. It's emotional, it's weird, it's haunting, and it's honestly one of the most unique adaptations of the story I've seen. So grab a snack, settle in, because this is one of those movies that stays in your head long after it ends. Let's jump right into it. The first thing I want to say is this. I went in expecting a typical horror or gothic monster movie. You know, dark castle, lightning, mad scientist vibes. And sure, those elements are there, but the movie is so much more personal than that. It feels more like a tragic character story than a monster flick. Actually, half the time I forgot I was watching a monster movie at all. Right from the opening scenes, you can tell Del Toro is doing his own thing. The film starts in the freezing Arctic with this ship stuck in the ice, and immediately you're like, okay, what is going on here? It's mysterious, it's atmospheric, and it sets this eerie tone that carries through the entire movie. It's one of those openings that just grabs your curiosity and doesn't let go. Oscar Isaac plays Victor Frankenstein, and listen, he absolutely kills this role, and not in the cliché mad scientist way you might be expecting. What I loved is that the movie actually takes time to show Victor's backstory. We see his childhood, his trauma, the grief that shaped him. So instead of feeling like he's just some unhinged genius screaming about creating life, he comes across as someone who's hurting. Someone who's honestly trying to make sense of death after experiencing it way too early in life. Is he flawed? Yes. Obsessed? Definitely. But he's human, and the movie makes you feel that. What surprised me most is that Victor isn't shown as this evil person who wants to play God. He's actually fragile, insecure, and confused. He makes terrible decisions, sure, but you understand where they come from, and that makes him so much more interesting. Okay, now let's talk about the star of this movie, the creature. Jacob Elordi. Man, if you only know him from Euphoria or Priscilla, you are not ready for this performance. His version of the creature isn't a mindless monster. He's emotional, sensitive, lonely, confused. Honestly, he feels like a lost child stuck in a giant, terrifying body, and that combination is heartbreaking. When he first wakes up and Victor basically freaks out and tries to burn him, that moment sets the emotional tone for the rest of the story, because this rejection becomes the creature's entire life experience, and it hurts to watch. There's one section of the movie where the creature secretly watches a family and learns how to speak by listening through the walls, and I swear these scenes felt so genuine and sad. You want him to experience a moment of kindness so badly, but every time someone actually sees him, they react with fear. It makes you ask, who is the real monster here? And that's exactly the question Del Toro wants you to think about. What surprised me most is that the film actually slows down a lot in the middle, and not in a boring way. It's almost meditative. The creature just wanders the world, learning, observing, trying to understand himself. The pacing here might not be for everyone. Some people might watch this and go, why is nothing happening? But to me, these quieter moments are the heart of the movie. This is where we see the creature learning compassion and heartbreak and disappointment and anger and, honestly, humanity. Probably more humanity than Victor ever showed. There's a moment where the creature confronts Victor and basically says, "Why did you make me?" And Victor has no real answer because he didn't think past the creation. He wanted to be a god for 5 minutes, but he didn't want the responsibility afterward. That scene hits hard. Now don't worry, the movie definitely delivers on the tragedy you expect from Frankenstein. William, Victor's younger brother, Elizabeth. Yeah, their deaths hurt. Not because they're shocking, but because Del Toro shows the emotional fallout behind them. The movie doesn't treat these moments like plot devices. They're consequences. Heavy consequences. And honestly, the creature's anger makes sense. It doesn't feel like he's doing evil things because he's evil. It feels like he's reacting to a world that rejected him from the moment he opened his eyes. There's something painfully human about that. The ending takes us back to the icy Arctic from the beginning. Victor and the creature basically chase each other into this frozen wasteland, both exhausted, both broken, both desperate for something they can't even name anymore. This whole sequence feels like a dream, or maybe more like a nightmare floating between life and death. And then comes the moment I absolutely did not expect. Victor apologizes, and the creature forgives him. I'm not kidding. This forgiveness scene might be one of the most beautiful things Del Toro has ever filmed. It's quiet, it's simple, but it's heavy. After Victor dies, the creature doesn't scream or make some dramatic exit. He helps the stranded sailors return home, and then he walks alone into the distance. Not dead, not destroyed, just existing, wandering. It's a lonely ending, but somehow hopeful. Okay, let me just gush for a moment. The visuals in this movie are insane. Every scene looks like a painting. Dark, cold, textured, dripping with atmosphere. The sets, the costumes, the creature's makeup, everything feels handcrafted. Del Toro always has this fairy tale meets nightmare style, and here it's at its absolute best. And the music? Perfect. Soft, sad, never overpowering, but it gives the whole movie this melancholy heartbeat. It's the kind of film where every little detail is chosen on purpose, and you can feel that. So, is Frankenstein 2025 worth watching? Honestly, yes, definitely. But let me be real for a second. This movie is not going to be everyone's cup of tea. If you want fast pacing, jump scares, or loud action scenes, this ain't that. This is a slow, emotional, character-driven tragedy with gothic vibes and philosophical questions. But if you like stories that dig into emotions, that make you think, that make you feel something deep in your chest, then this movie is absolutely for you. Oscar Isaac is fantastic. Jacob Elordi is unforgettable. And Guillermo del Toro delivers one of the most thoughtful retellings of Frankenstein ever made. I finished the movie and just sat there staring at the screen thinking, wow, that was something. And honestly, that's the best reaction a movie can give you. All right, guys, that's my review of Frankenstein 2025. If you enjoyed this style of breakdown, hit the like button, subscribe for more reviews, and tell me in the comments what you thought about the movie. Did you feel sympathy for the creature? Did the ending catch you off guard like it did for me? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.